With extremely cold winters and hot summers, why would anyone choose to move there? And after experiencing just 1 year of those seasons, why would anyone stay? I grew up as a Ricks and have always thought it was interesting to read about my great-great-great-grandpa and him settling Ricksburg, but now known as Rexburg. Thomas E. Ricks also had a strong influence in getting the Bannock Academy started. It has since changed names twice, first Ricks College and now a 4-year university which we know as BYUI. Since 1883, when Ricksburg was first organized, it has gone through some big changes, even the town's name. There was not any settlement in the upper Snake River Valley before 1883, except for a few mountain men and Indians. Many mines in Montana caused the need to have a railroad that went between Montana and Utah, and because the Mormon Church and the needs to find colonization for the many saints from Europe, they were always looking for places that the saints could colonize. They decided that because of the abundant wildlife, tall sagebrush, and because of the large amounts of water, that the upper Snake River Valley would be a good place to try. Before 1883, Thomas E. Ricks had traveled across the Mississippi River, stayed in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and then traveled farther west with the Latter-day Saints to the Salt Lake Valley, Utah area. He traveled around the West working for the railroad. So when Thomas and 13 other pioneers were asked to colonize the upper Snake River Valley, they were ready for the challenge. They arrived in what is known as Rexburg on the 11th day of February, 1883. By the end of the first 2 years, over 1,400 people had settled the area. As the people came to live in the upper valley, many changes had taken place. Canal bridges, infrastructure was formed. One interesting fact is that the first U.S. post office was set up in Eugene, which I think is interesting because I live in Eugene, and the people now would say that we live out in Timbuktu, which we're only 7 miles from Rexburg, but we are quite a ways out from the main community. Members of the community were mainly Mormon, and the infrastructure of the city was mainly run by members of the church. Agriculture was the mainstay of the community, and then with the growth of Ricks College and now BYUI, that has changed, and now the university is the huge economic factor with just outlying farms. Since the change to BYUI, growth has grown by 48%. It's planting time in the fields of Rexburg. The fields have stubble of green, the trees are blooming, and there is a bustle of students on the street. Some would say we have way too many fast food restaurants, a bank on every corner, and streets packed with cars at rush hour. And the locals do not enjoy driving around campus because of the many students walking across the streets. The winters are cold, summers are hot, but we live in the prettiest valley that 13 pioneers chose to colonize and make their home.